Hey Grant, should I start with like some kind of a joke? Should I have a joke?
Oh, please, God, no!
Like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dentistry?
Not a joke. That was not even a joke.
No. How about I suggest that save your money. Don't go see the film. Pay for some helpful dentistry instead.
Was that sarcasm?
No? Alright, we'll just keep it straight. I saw a movie so you don't have to. And believe me, when it comes to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Diarrhea,
seems oddly appropriate.
you really don't have to go. You don't want to go? I don't know. But this is not a good movie. Now, if you like adventure movies and you don't care about Indiana Jones, you may get something out of it. You know what? We're getting into it. Here we go. All right, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It's a film, and it is shot beautifully. It's disjointed, doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it looks amazing. So at least you can check one off the box for James Mangold, or should I say James Mangold, or perhaps Mangelded, because that's what actually happens during the course of the film. Yes, all the leaks were true, at least the ones most recently that really do describe a broken down Indy that you really don't want to see again. It's like Jake Skywalker times 4, and he does kind of get Han Solo'd, although he's not dead at the end of the movie. Oh, big spoilers, but you already knew that. In fact, you probably already know this movie from beginning to end. I know a lot of people do. And it starts off exactly where you think it would. In the first act, it is amazing. Young Indiana doing amazing things, taking full advantage of the digital replacement technology. Well, that we should be very afraid of in our regular lives. But as far as the film goes, they do a great job with it. A very young Indy on a much younger man's body. And yes, we do have Phoebe, Wall or Bridge, in the film. And she's exactly as insufferable as you would expect because, hey, she just plays herself. And the first question that anybody's going to ask here is it woke? Well, sure, in a way. Mostly it's just intersectional feminism, and it is a lot of it. Indiana Jones is led throughout this entire film, absent the first act, by his goddaughter, Helena, played by Phoebe Wall or Bridge. And I say it that way for a very distinct reason. And of course, she is amazing from beginning to end, an incredibly capable and, well, kind of a pompous and annoying woman all at the same time. There isn't anything in this film that challenges her, or that she's not already prepared for, or doesn't already know everything about. She apparently even has superhero strength at varying points in the film, which goes unexplained because she has arms that are basically the size of spaghetti noodles. Not to mention the fact that, much like Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, well, he just happens to show up at the very last moment to do exactly what needs to be done, well, so that everybody can get home. And yes, home. If you already know the leaks, you already know what I'm talking about. Interestingly enough, despite Harrison Ford's denial, there's a decent chance that the character could return. Well, I mean, maybe Harrison Ford doesn't want him to return, and maybe he'll never play him again, but the very last thing that you see before the credits roll would indicate that maybe the journey is not over. To be fair, I don't think there's any opening here for Phoebe, Wall, or Bridge to take over the role of Indiana Jones. Maybe as her own adventurer, but I don't know how that's going to sell very well, considering she's going to be deeply invested in the Lara Croft series that's being rebooted for I don't know how many times. But ultimately, we just have to get to the rating here. And as far as I'm concerned, this film is slightly above Eternals, but it still is a 2 of 5. Because if you turn that from a 5-point scale into a 10-point scale, it's a 4 of 10 movie. And it's not the worst movie I've seen this year, and it certainly isn't going to make its money back at the box office. As a matter of fact, I've been on record saying I would think this thing would finish up at around $500 million. And I think that that's probably the best it could hope for, which means it's going to lose Disney a whopping $200 million by the end of its theatrical run. And I will say this, I am not surprised by the estimates that have been out there for its opening weekend. Somewhere between 60 and 70 million seems like very kind. It could finish much, much lower for that 3-day period at its opening. Or if they extend it, like they're trying to do, and make it a 5-day weekend, getting through July 4th, it could possibly get to 102 million. This is the one time I assure you Disney does not want the projections to be correct. And finally, I'll say this. I don't have any idea who this film was for, because it's not for a broad smattering of audiences. It doesn't cover enough quadrants to be considered a tentpole. It's targeted to audience members who know who Indy is. So if you're not 35 to, 75, this character could be lost on you, which may be why they created generic adventure movie. And finally, back to the statement I sort of opened with. If you enjoyed Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Indiana Jones 4, which I don't really acknowledge exists, then this movie could be for you. Is it for anybody else? No. And because of that, maybe you catch it over on a streaming service sometime, and it may not even be restricted to Disney+. And with that, I do want to know what you think, because hey, your opinion matters too. If you've seen this film and you have a different opinion, or you agree with me, let me know down in the comment section below, and let's have a conversation about it, because I don't think anybody should waste their money on this film, and if you did, tell me just how much you regret it. And with that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, save your money.